Music Network Song and Poetry Swap. It's December 15th, and we're very excited to have a wonderful group of PMN members presenting here Songs of Freedom and Struggle. And I just want to tell you a little bit about the People's Music Network and some of what we have been doing. We started these online swaps in March 2020, a long time ago. And we just had our first in-person event since January of 2020. That was the hybrid convergence. We did that in New York City, and it was a great coming together of artists in person. About 60 people registered. We had another 60 people registered online, and we're going to do another event actually kind of modeled on that event that we did in October. It's going to be the PMN Winter Convergence. It's also a hybrid event. It's 3 days, but some of it is going to be Zoom only. So we're going to have kind of one of these online song swaps we call the round robin. That's going to be on Friday, February 10th. We're going to have a day-long experience there at the People's Forum. And the workshops are going to be very much focused on collaborative stuff. Like tonight, what you're about to hear is going to be a bunch of individual, mostly, I mean, we got actually a group here from Washington, D.C., the Black Worker Center Chorus. It's very exciting when we get a group to come onto one of these things. But most of what we're doing, we're like individual songwriters who have something to share, which is great. In the context of what we're doing for the Winter Convergence, we really want to bring out the ways in which we can collaborate as a community of musicians that are committed to peace and justice through our craft. And so that's what a lot of the workshops are going to be focused on. There'll also be song swaps and those kinds of opportunities in person and online for February 11th. So we're building that right now. We have a committee that is getting together. So if you live in New York City, or if you don't live in New York City and like to participate in developing the program that we're going to be doing online, get in touch with me. There's opportunities to plug in. There's going to be Zoom only workshops as well as workshops that are in person. Plus there's going to be the workshops in person that are going to be live streamed out to people in other parts of the country. So there's lots more information. Put February 10th through 12th on your calendars, though, what I have to say about that. We also have, we're bringing back this year an event that I'm very excited about. It's called the PMN Summer Gathering. We've been doing that since the beginning of People's Music Network, going back to the late 70s. We have not done that event since 2018. And it's really exciting that we're have an opportunity this year in Groton, Massachusetts on May 26th, 27th, and 28th to bring back the kind of like retreat experience where people come together in person for an extended period of time. And that's really where some of the greatest friendships I've seen really form through that kind of experience. And we want to bring that back. So we're looking at Camp Grotonwood for those dates, May 26th to 28th of next year. And there's also an organizing committee there. And PMN is is an organization that depends a lot on volunteer work. And so there's a lot of opportunities to get involved with the program, with the logistics, and with the publicity work that we all pull together to do. And Groton, if you don't know where it is, it's kind of in the greater Boston area. So it's like about 45, 50 minutes away from Boston. And that's going to be a really exciting experience. So I hope people put that on their calendars as well. As the People's Music Network, we are here to sustain and grow a diverse community of performing artists, activists, and allies who are using our music, our poetry, our craft as artists to be a catalyst for peace and justice. So just in terms of today's event, today's song swap, I want to give you just a few quick reminders. One, share that YouTube live stream. If you're already watching on YouTube, press share, press like, and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. And I just posted that into the chat here in the Zoom room for all the folks who are here. And just that's a way we can share the music that we're making. Lyrics, if you want your lyrics displayed on the screen, give me a little message ahead of time. One person already did that. That just makes your face small and the lyrics become big, but the default is not to do that. But if you want that to happen, just let me know. Verbal encouragement, we are here to encourage one another as a community of artists. So we invite each artist as they're coming up to the stage, so-called, you're just sitting in your chair most likely, but like listen particularly to the artist who comes before you and see if you can like share something authentic with that person about what you heard, something that moved you, something that touched you in some way about what they did through their song. And then you can kind of start off with that, start off with a nod to that person and what you experienced about their song. And then you'll have the opportunity to introduce yourself and to introduce your song. And then definitely use the chat throughout the entire event to encourage one another. We have one chat going on here on Zoom. We have another chat going on YouTube. Sometimes people double up, which is fine if you're already on the Zoom. And then each individual act is going to get 5 minutes tonight. We're asking the one ensemble group we have to do a 10-minute set, but that's just kind of a guideline generally. And I'm glad you're all here. So that is the end of the introduction. I want to invite our first performer. His name is Jason Baker. Jason, welcome to the stage.
Hey, thanks. Thanks, Ben, and good to see everybody.
You too.
And so it is December, so the holiday seasons are upon us. Holiday season is upon us. The holidays, I noticed that we celebrate Christmas and Hanukkah. Interestingly, celebrate people who were, in fact, freedom fighters resisting Roman occupation, in their ways. When I was a little kid, about 5 years old, I was raised in a Jewish family, so I first encountered in public school the whole idea of Jesus, and I asked my brother at Hanukkah dinner, "Who is this Jesus guy?" Well, my brother was about 8 years old, and he gladly gave me a 8-minute synopsis of the entire life of Jesus. And so I was shocked by the whole thing. So years later, I decided I'm going to write a holiday song. So this is my birthday card from one Jewish kid to another. It's called Christmas Time Blues. Oh, right. Turn that on. Christmas time blues, King of the Jews. If you only knew what's gonna happen to you. Nailed to the cross by the big boss. Everyone just standing round at a complete loss. The baby that's before us will be joining in a chorus of the Christmas time blues. Christmas time blues, poor little dude. A manger for a cradle bed when you are brand new. Star in the sky shines in the eyes of the 3 old wise men from the east who drop by. Besides the gifts they bring, these wise men are gonna sing a bit of the Christmas time blues. A Christmas time blues, nothing to lose, not a single clue about what you're here to do. Dad's got a plan, but he's not a man. He's an ancient idea from way out in Iran. They marked you as a prophet, there ain't no way you can stop them old Christmas time blues. Christmas time blues, you don't get to choose. Stay out of Jerusalem and you bound to lose. Passover time, committing crimes with the 12 apostles and a bunch of red wine. But you will be betrayed, so there you're gonna stay with them Christmas time blues. Our Christmas time blues, born without shoes. Dad above sure knows that you'll be paying your dues. Ready or not to show what you got. Kill the Roman Empire from inside with slow rot. You'll know it when they gotta sing a whole cantata called the Christmas Time Blues. The Christmas Time Blues, King of the Jews. If you only knew what's gonna happen to you.
Oh my goodness. Very funny. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. So actually we had one cancellation for our second performer today, and I forgot to mention that, but Gary Cantor is our next performer, and I want to bring Gary on. Gary, I have met you before, but you are new to the People's Music Network, and very glad to have you here today. Would you care to tell Jason something about what you heard in that song?
That was the story of my youth too, Jason. It was, I didn't know about Jesus till I went to elementary school. And at the time they read the Bible at assemblies, and it was usually the New Testament. And I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. And unfortunately, I learned later what it was all about.
Yeah, that was my reaction. Why didn't they warn him?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, thank you very much.
Yeah, so that was beautiful. That really nailed it. So you've already depressed the hell out of me for the rest of the night. Thank you.
Thanks, Jason. So Gary, tell us, since this is your first time at PMN, tell us maybe a little bit more about where you're from, and
Okay.
Tell us a thing or two about music. And how
Okay.
you
Originally, I'm
engage.
from New York. I've been living in the Pacific Northwest since the early 70s. I live about an hour north of Seattle on Camano Island. I've been writing songs and singing for most of my life. For about 8 to 10 years, I was co-host on a labor social justice radio show out of the Skagit Valley in Washington State, which is where I participated in the development of the first independent farm workers union in the state. From the day that they walked off of the job to the day they got their union certification, I spent a lot of time on the picket lines with them, singing and doing fundraisers and so on and so forth. And so right now I do a lot of labor events, and I am a union musician, and I represent my union to the local labor council. I believe music, my music anyway, should be is transformational. And my earliest influences were Phil Oakes and Tom Paxton, and later John Prine. And but I guess just like everything else, I'm just a walking personification of everybody I've ever heard. And this is a
Great.
song.
Well, we are so glad to have you here. Thanks.
Thank you. And this is a song that I wrote as therapy, as most songs are, following the election of the Orange Führer back in 2016, and when he was ordained. Dark clouds of oppression have gathered in the sky. Fog of fear has filtered out the sun. Sounds of our uncertainty are ringing in my ear, knowing something needs to be done. The emperor stands naked, the emperor stands bare. The emperor stands hollow to the core. He thought that he could buy us, he knows not our history. We marched down this road before. We marched down this road before. march to claim our rights and end the corporate war. Once we had decided not to take it anymore, we marched down this road before. When factories were burning, with our children trapped inside, mines blew up from unchecked methane gas. We buried our dead, locked arms, and we said, we shall not let this thing pass. When women had no privilege, women had no voice, women served as husband property. They stood up strong, invited us along to make this land a better democracy. We marched down this road before, marched to claim our rights, end the corporate war. Once we had decided not to take it anymore, we marched down this road before. When slavery was broken, slavery restored, beneath the hoods and robes they called Jim Crow, they rode the freedom buses and we joined hands on a bridge, and in multicolored voices we said no. When those who pick our produce, those who pick our crop, were mired in their lives of poverty, they organized the boycotts and we joined the picket line to make our way toward worker dignity. We marched down this road before, marched to claim our rights, end the corporate war. Once we had decided not to take it anymore, we marched down this road before. When Vietnam was invaded, Cambodia and Laos, napalm rained down on this foreign land. We ringed around the Pentagon and raised our voices loud in language they could understand. Now the fascists came to power and the fascists took control. They thought that we'd be cowed from shore to shore. They're starting to see power of solidarity as we march down this road once more. We're marching down this road once more, march to save our rights and prevail in the class war. Now that we've decided not to take it anymore, we're marching down this road once more. We're marching down this road once more.
Thank you. Let's bring on our next performers, Michael and Nell, to welcome in Gary Cantor to PMN.
Gary, what a song that is. Woo!
Thank you.
History lesson for us, and we're definitely kindred spirits. Nell and I do a whole show about Joe Hill, and a lot of the songs that we write are, of course, about social issues. Nell, anything you want to say?
Yeah, it was great, and I just sent you a message in the chat with my email, so contact us, okay?
Will do.
Coming out your way this coming year.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That'll be great. I'll put my website up on the chat too.
Cool.
Yeah, great.
You can contact me through that.
Okay.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Okay. So now we're going to do a song that we wrote a while ago, not too long ago, but long enough. It's actually, the song is about one of the situations that Gary touched on in his song. It's called No Man's Land.
And it's about the dreamers, or the DACA people, deferred access for childhood arrivals, who are still in limbo about whether or not they're ever going to be United States citizens. And this is our song about that.
To find a better life, we crossed the Rio Grande, floating through the shadows to no man's land. Veracruz is the place where I was born. My family worked in the hot sun growing corn, and American crops flooded Mexico. We could not survive, so we had to go. Driven from our home, we crossed the Rio Grande. Now we're living in the shadows in no man's land. My father brought me here when I was 4. I picked your fruit and swept up your floor. I stared at pictures in magazines. The promise of America filled my dreams. I want to plant my flag, but I don't know where I stand. Dreaming in the shadows in no man's land. So I live in fear of a knock on my door. Man says I can't live here anymore, taking me from the only life I've known to another country that's never been my home. To find a better life, we crossed the Rio Grande. Now we're hiding in the shadows in no man's land. The cards that I was dealt were not my choice. I was just a child, I never had a voice. I am just one story, there are many more like me, looking for the light, longing to be free. To find a better life, we crossed the Rio Grande. Now we're living in the shadows in no man's land. I want to plant my flag, but I don't know where I stand.
Bravo. We're going to bring up our next performer, Tobie Hoffman. Tobie.
Oh, Michael and Nell, thank you. I always enjoy your performances because they always are so present. They're always so of the now, and just the whole idea of no man's land is really I love that. I love that. That's such a it comes out in your mouth. I loved it. Thank you so much. I'm sorry that we have to keep, these are the kind of songs you're always sorry you have to keep singing, right? But I'm glad you brought it out. It's great.
Thank you.
Yesterday was the 10th anniversary of Sandy Hook. And here we are 10 years later, still singing those kinds of songs. So I want to read a poem that I wrote this year for yet another horrible massacre of children. And then I'm going to sing a song by a very wonderful musician in Philadelphia, Brent Ellison, who wrote a song about Sandy Hook. So kind of the bookends of two different groups of children. So this is called I Bequeath All My Worldly Good. On my dresser, the one under the window with the flowery curtains, next to the jewelry box is the picture of my kindergarten graduation. I loved that picture. I won an award for perfect attendance and for being a good citizen. There was a funny border around the edge of the paper. It made me laugh. See, I'm smiling in the picture. That is for my mother. She was there too, smiling back. In the bottom drawer is a pouch I made in 2nd grade, like the one I made for my friend, who sat next to me every year. If you find her pouch, please remember it was from me. I liked it so much I made another one. I hid pennies and nickels in it that I found on the ground. Do you know how many pennies and pieces of string you can find if you bend down and look close? $2 and a ribbon in that pouch. I leave to my cousin. He goes to another school. He's lucky that way. I almost forgot. I leave my tie-dyed shirt, the one I wore on my first day of school this year, and on my last day. You decide who gets to keep it. Tuck your children into bed. Pull the covers tight. Kiss their heads and say a prayer. Keep them safe tonight. 20 little angels with brand new wings are learning how to fly. Listen close, you'll hear them sing this angel lullaby. La 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 la. La 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 la. Gather with your family, candles burning bright. Pray for those with heavy hearts, remember them tonight. Oh, 20 little angels with brand new wings are learning how to fly. Listen close and you'll hear them sing their angel lullaby. And this is a verse that I wrote today. Now those angels, 10 years gone, watch and weep and cry. They have welcomed too many more to sing this lullaby. Oh, 20 little angels with brand new wings are learning how to fly. Listen close, you'll hear them sing this angel lullaby. Sing it with me. La 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 la. Oh, 20 little angels with brand new wings are learning how. Learning how to fly.
Bravo. The part is gone. Thank you so much. I want to bring up our next performer. He's new to PMN. So as your first thing here at PMN, Norman Bowen, what do you want to say to our friend Tobie?
Thank you.
Hoffman?
Yeah, Tobie, I want to talk about your poem. I was just very moved by your poem. It's so difficult to write in a in a tone that seems authentic about topics like that. And I thought you did such a great job. It was tender, but it was also very dignified and very powerful for me. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Ben, can
Tobie.
you got my lyrics and you can post them?
Yeah, I can totally do that. And before I post your lyrics,
Yeah.
this is your first time at PMN. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about where you're from.
Yes, I'm from
About
the
your music.
San Francisco Bay Area, and have been active in the area for some time. I've written songs for 55 years, probably, but had a long academic career in between. I just completed an album called The Lupins and the Poppies: Songs of Love, Loss, Injustice, and Resistance. There are 6 racial justice songs, mainly about the history of racial injustice in California. I believe right now I'm doing a song circle about that because it's so important that it not remain abstract and that we continue to focus on the real hurt that occurred and the responsibilities that we have for it. There's another song on my album called "What Do I Owe My Neighbor," which is about discrimination in housing, for example. This one is called "The Lupins and the Poppies," and it's a fictional illustration of the disastrous consequences of California's anti-miscegenation laws, which were passed when California became a state in 1850, and were not knocked down by the courts until 1948, which is not that long ago. And an outlawed marriage between whites and blacks or mixed-race individuals. The song is set in a real California coal mining town during the 1870s. It's an illegal love between a Welsh coal miner and an African-American woman. It's called "The Lupins and the Poppies." When the lupin and the poppies come in bloom, wash the hills with blue and gold, then my thoughts return to you and the life we made there in the fold. I set my eyes on you, dancing on the village square. Love came streaming in my heart, sunlight flashing through your hair. When the lupin and the poppies come in bloom, wash the hills with blue and gold. Love comes streaming in my heart, for the life we made there in the fold. We roamed the old Diablo range, far from gossip's prying eye. On Mitchell Creek we made our vows, where the fairy lanterns reach the sky. We married in the month of May, underneath the live oak tree. No church would open up its doors. 'Twas the law that said we were not free. When the lupin and the poppies come in bloom, wash the hills with blue and gold. Love comes streaming in my heart, for the life we made there in the fold. They swore no doctor could be found. They'd called the midwife out of town. I buried them together side by side, outside the Somersville burying ground. I work the old black diamond vein, I labor in the slope alone. I dream my son works by my side to sort the lignite from the bone. When the lupin and the poppies come in bloom, wash the hills with blue and gold. Love comes streaming in my heart, for the life we made there in the fold.
Bravo! Thank you very much, Norman. It is
Thank
great
you.
to have you here.
Thank you, everyone.
And thanks for bringing that song. So very looking forward to hearing more songs from you at future song swaps. I want to bring on our next
Thank you.
performer, Louise Hetzler. Welcome, Louise. Would you like to offer a word to Norman?
Yeah, that was beautiful, and I'm getting sadder and sadder as the night goes on here with all these.
I'm having a little difficulty hearing you.
And it was beautiful, but I'm getting sadder and sadder with all the, getting sadder and sadder with these songs and that very sad poem. Maybe this song will lift everyone's spirit. It's from 1997. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes, a little better. Thank you.
This is called Harmony. So here we go. If peace is what we wish for, then peace is what will be. We'll live with understanding, and people will be free. If love is what we long for, then love will come along. Love with understanding and knowing right from wrong, right from wrong. If joy is what we live for, then joy is what we'll be. We'll sing and dance and celebrate a life of harmony. Each of us is different, each one is unique. To live in peace and harmony, that is what we seek, what we seek. Seeking peace and love and joy and harmony. Seeking peace and love and joy and harmony. One more time and join along. If peace is what we wish for, then peace is what we'll be. We'll live with understanding and people will be free. If love is what we long for, then love will come along. Love with understanding and knowing right from wrong, right from wrong. If joy is what we live for, then joy is what we'll be. We'll sing and dance and celebrate a life of harmony. Each of us is different, each one is unique. To live in peace and harmony, that is what we seek, what we seek. Seeking peace and love and joy and harmony. Seeking peace and love and joy and harmony.
Louise Hetzler, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for bringing up the energy. I want to bring on Paul Goldman. Paul, welcome. Good to have you here. Good to have you back.
Good to be back. And Louise, that was a very positive message. And I also like songs where I could sing along without having to think too hard. And that just kind of draws you in. So that was very nice. Thank you. So about 10 years ago, when Megyn Kelly was a host on Fox News, she said, "Santa just is white." So that got me thinking, maybe she's wrong. And so I decided to write this song. It's called "What Color is Santa Claus?" Mommy, oh mommy, what color is Santa Claus? What color is Santa Claus? Please tell me, my dear child. Santa's the colors of the rainbow. The colors of the rainbow and more, it's plain to see. He is black, he is white, he is yellow and red. Sure as he spreads Christmas cheer, sure as reindeer pull his sled. Daddy, oh daddy, What color is God? What color is God? Please tell me, my dear child. God is the colors of the rainbow, the colors of the rainbow, and more it's plain to see. She is black, she is white, she is yellow and red. Sure as she loves us all, sure as she hears our prayers when we go to bed. Sure as she hears our prayers when we go to bed. Thank you and happy holidays, everybody.
Thank you, Paul Goldman. Thank you, thank you. I want to bring on our next performer, Eric Law. Welcome, Eric.
Go. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, Eric. Yeah.
Thank you, Paul. That was wonderful. Not only did we get the history of Jesus, now we got Santa Claus. Thank you, Jason, and thank you. I also got a history of the labor movement and all the. It's just such a great night. Yeah, thank you. I love the Paul. I love the lullaby feel to the song, and singing that song to a child will change their idea of God. So I was. Many of you know that I'm a Episcopal priest, and one of my mentors said to me that. We are in a very serious business because we're in the business of shaping people's idea of God. And that is very serious. If we tell people God is a vengeful God, a jealous God, and a hateful God, then we would be hateful. If we believe in a God that's love us all, then we will be loving. So thank you for that. Thank you, Paul. Yeah. So, I'm having a party tomorrow online because I am releasing my latest album called Recreate, and I put the info in the chat. So you're all invited to come. And it's 9 songs. I started writing them after January 6th. And many of the songs were workshopped in the If I Had a Song workshop. If you have not come to one of those, I see many of you are here. Please consider coming, bringing your song in progress. And I gain a lot from being part of that community. So this, so this is one of the 9 songs of the album, and nice to have a song fully produced and studio recorded and so on. So this is called "Hold On, Reach Out." How did we learn to hate each other? When did we build these walls of fears? When the warring flags are down, we're just neighbors standing here. Why can't we hear each other's story? Stories of triumph and of loss. When the one we loved is gone, all that's left is just a cross. Hold on. makes humankind. Reach out to those we've left behind. Hold on to memories that respect. Returning home where our dreams connect. No one should ever be our idol. Idols are tyrants made of clay. When the rain pours down one day, clay would just be washed away. Hold on to what makes humankind. Reach out to those we've left behind. Hold on to memories that respect. Returning home where our dreams connect. Returning home where our dreams connect.
Bravo, Eric Law. Thank you. So I'm reading in the chat here that Eric Law is inviting us to recreate album launch listening party. And that's tomorrow, December 16th at 4 p.m. Pacific time. For us on the East Coast, that would be 7 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm just curious, Eric, if you would just say, like, what does a person do when they have a new album and they want to put it out there? Like, what's the idea of a listening party?
I've never done this before, and so this is all new. So the idea that I have is just to have my friends each pick a song and introduce it, and then we'll do a listening of partially or all the songs. And then some of the songs will have friends who put images to them. So my brother is an artist, so he offer a bunch of photos and go one of the songs. And so it will be fun. It will be, we'll probably have about 100 people. And also I'm launching my Patreon account. So if anybody's trying to figure out how that works, I'm launching that and trying to get people to support my recording ministry, because recording is expensive, as you know. And I'm running out of money, so I need people to give me some so I can keep making records and so on. And I'm more a recording artist than a live performing artist. Since the pandemic, I've been used to doing this more, and so it's come and see how I do it, and then we'll learn to do it better as we go.
I have a feeling that we have some musicians who could definitely learn something there. So check that information out in the chat. I want to bring on our next performer, ELYAS Isaacs. Welcome, ELYAS.
Thank you so much, Ben.
Good
I want to
have you
thank
here.
you, Eric. That was wonderful. I think your spirit of reaching out is part of the season of the holidays, where people want to get together with friends and family and reach out to everyone. So I thank you so much. It was wonderful.
So, ELYAS, you'll be singing 8 Bright Lights.
Yes, I guess tonight we had Christmas and Jesus and Santa Claus. So my song, called 8 Bright Lights, is for Hanukkah, filling out the holidays of the season. I've got a bit of a cold and, of course, my asthma, so I'll try to cough as little as much going through the song. It's a cappella tonight. Hopefully in the future I will have one of my 2 guitars, or even my 5-string recording king banjo, to accompany me. Hi, everybody. It's good to see you all. Hi there. So let's get started. 8 Hanukkah candles a fire lit and burning bright. 8 Hanukkah candles burning, glowing, see the wondrous sight. Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, Matthias, believing, living right. Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah. The brave warriors of Judah came, they scaled Modine's highest heights. So the Lord, he gave them Hanukkah, their holy, holy night. The Jewish miracle lasted well for 8 long nights. Judah's warriors' bravery filled Jewish lives and souls with faith and blessed rights. The 7 Maccabee brothers overwhelmed the Syrian Greeks in dark of night. How long they wondered with their perfect sight. How long will our precious oil last? Will it last through all 8 nights? The Jewish oil, it lasted for 8 long nights. The women and men of temple too, they were of Jewry born. They were filled with wonder, awe, and none were ever wrong. With joy the Lord poured out for them their heavenly precious oil. His steadfast love blessed all of Israel's holy soil. And so the Hebrew tale with scripture is told of all the Jewish and Maccabean victories in the days of old. The Lord gave them glorious Hanukkah with traditions all well known. For all of hopeful Jewry's kingdoms, his love is shown. And now in peace and love, the Jews live completely free. And so it is that far and wide the multitudes all agree. A homeland Israel is the Lord's to give. Filled with truth and justice is Israel, it is how we as Jews all live. 1 Hanukkah candle lit on each of the 8 nights. 8 candles lit for all the Jewish rites. 8 candles lit, raise the Hebrew voice. 8 candles lit that we may all rejoice. Oh, 1 candle newly lit on each of the 8 nights. 8 candles lit for all the Jewish rites. 8 candles lit, raise the Hebrew voice. 8 candles lit that we all may rejoice. 8 candles lit, raise the Hebrew voice. 8 candles lit that we all may rejoice.
Thank you. 8 bright lights. ELYAS, thank
so
you very
much,
much.
Fred. Well, anyone, Hanukkah starts Sunday evening, so happy Hanukkah. For those that speak a little Hebrew, Hag Hanukkah Sameach, and Mazel Tov to everyone.
Happy Hanukkah, ELYAS. Let's bring on our next performer, Rick Ward. Welcome.
All right. I'm an experiment. I put my song sheet up so I can see it and look you in the eye, but I can't see myself. But this is going to be better, I think.
Do you want to offer a word to ELYAS?
Oh yeah, that was great. That was that works. A lot of times, you know, it's like not the same without a guitar, but that song was like, it's got spunk and holiness and peopleness and everything
I
that.
just finished working on the melody today, so that's really why I didn't have the guitar. I just
Did you write it?
Together. Yes, both song and melody, all original.
Oh wow! Oh,
anyway,
that's good.
Good to see you, and may your holiday season be perfect.
Yes, likewise.
Thank you. Thank you.
You bet. All right, I have a brand new Christmas song for you that I wrote for my sister a couple years ago. I just put a chorus to. And the story goes that politics and religion are two faces of the same thing. Tribalism, the very thing that divides us. That division is the very thing that we must overcome, which qualifies this song as freedom and struggle, right? So I'm going to say it. I don't care what hat or t-shirt you wear. It's who you are that counts. That's what I say to my friends that have different points of view. And I have a few. And they're still my brothers and sisters. And we're still standing on the same piece of dirt. That includes Republicans. I mean it. By the way, I did write a solstice hymn for my sister also a couple of years ago, which you can find in the chat, because you might want to hear that one too. It's a good studio recording. It's called Bring in the Light. This time of year, we gather to bring in the light in more ways than one. And in every one of them, we light a candle and gather with our loved ones and sing. See, we're not that much different. So as the song says, let's lift our voices together as one, with the songs of the angels and a hopeful prayer that we may have peace in the world. This time of year, I feel like heaven stoops down just a little closer to earth. I don't know what kind of geography that is. Maybe it's the geography of the heart. And the name of the song is A Merry Christmas You Are Wished. Because my sister is kind of like Yoda. She would say, do it, you will. And tidings good for all mankind, for on everyone the sun's gonna shine. Singing now, the angels are, oh love of mine, both near and far. Love of mine, both near and far. On earth be peace, goodwill to all. Upon us now, may these blessings fall. Like rain upon thirsty ground, songs of heaven all around, songs of heaven all around, singing hallelujah, singing lay our troubles down. Won't you lend an ear and hear the sound? So many sing and lift a voice for all these things. Let us rejoice for all these things. Let us rejoice, singing hallelujah. Sing it, sing it, hallelujah. Sing it, hallelujah. There's a comfort and a joy that the angels bring to you. Singing hallelujah, singing hallelujah. A Merry Christmas you are wished, and mean it I do.
Bravo, Rick.
Thank you.
Oh, hallelujah. Good to have you here. Good to hear your voice and your guitar. Wonderful. Well, we have a very special treat, my friends. We have our next act is the Black Worker Center Chorus. Welcome, friends. I see Dana. Hey, were you able to get that mic set up?
So the mic is set up. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, go. We'll do a quick thing. Hit the mic. Okay, I'm not sure if we got it. So go in to the. We're gonna do this because we got. How many of y'all are there?
We need to turn the volume up. So we have 3 people here.
Okay. So hit
I'm
it again.
Dana. This is Melly. And a Mel on the end.
And Amal. Oh, beautiful. Great.
Where's the volume?
Oh, okay. I see you're hitting it. So Dana, go to that up arrow right by the mute button.
Yes.
This is going to be so good. And then the window appears, select a microphone, and then where is the check mark?
It is on the microphone height mic, which is this one.
The height mic.
Oh,
okay, that's
same as sister microphone height mic.
Don't.
Oh,
put it
wait,
on
is
the
this called
same-
array? Is this array?
No, height mic.
It's height mic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so not same as system, but by the height mic or whatever-
Microphone height mic is checked. Yes.
And that's where it is. Okay, great. So
Try to put the volume on. It has 2 buttons, 2 stuff.
you know what?
Play with them.
I have a good feeling about this. I think this is going to be good.
You think we can just go for it?
I think you should just go for it. Yeah. Totally.
Okay, can you hear us a little bit?
Yeah. No, we hear you pretty good. We hear you pretty good. And
Okay.
Good. Just tell us a little bit about the Black Worker Center Chorus.
Okay, so we are the 1DC Black Worker Center Chorus. And 1DC is an organization in Washington, D.C. that fights for tenant rights and various other social justice causes in the district. And so we are the choral component of 1DC. And you all may know our fearless leader, Lucy Murphy, who is not well tonight. She's not feeling well. That's the only reason why she's not here with us. And so this is kind of like our solo performance without our fearless leader. So we are going to do our level best because, as you know, Lucy has been a, rock of the social justice choral groups in DC since the 1960s. And actually, one of the songs that we're going to sing tonight, it's my understanding that she performed this together with Pete Seeger many, many years ago, and she gave it her own flair. And he actually, he may have actually written the song and then recomposed it to, align with how she actually interpreted it. So we're going to do our level best with that tonight. And so we, as the chorus, we go to social justice organizations, call us out, and we perform all over the district throughout the year at various events. We just did one for DACA last week over the summertime. We came out for community health organizations. We were at the African American Civil War Memorial and performed there on Veterans Day. So when folks need an organization to come out and represent and lift up their cause through music, they call on us and we show up. So we're kind of like, tonight we're thin, there were 3 of us, but we welcome anybody who'd like to sing with us. And, when you can make it to our rehearsals, people come, and when we get a call to come out and perform, it's like who's ever available, we go out and we make it happen. I think one of the more exciting ones for us this summer was the performing at the folk festival at Glen Echo, which is a pretty big deal here in DC. That was a fun event. You guys want to add anything? Nelly?
No. I think you gave all the information.
Yeah,
you killed it, Dana.
They've been singing with the choir longer than I have, so they're old. Yeah, they're old timers. So tonight we're going to perform Ain't Gonna Let Nobody Turn Me Around, which is an old social justice song. And then I think you said, Ben, we might have time for a second song, and then we'd like to sing Ain't You Got a Right, which is the Lucy song / Pete Seeger. So okay, so we're gonna start with Ain't Gonna Let Nobody Turn Me Around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching into freedom land. Ain't gonna let injustice turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let injustice turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching into freedom land. Ain't gonna let no sexism turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let no sexism turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching into freedom land. Ain't gonna let no hatred turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let no hatred turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching into freedom land. Ain't gonna let no racism turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let no racism turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching into freedom land. Ain't gonna let no jailhouse turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let no jailhouse turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching into freedom land. So a lot of the music we do, we try to do songs that people can, join in with us and sing together with us. And so that was an example of that. So now we're going to do Ain't You Gotta Right. Okay. Ain't you got a right? 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 Ain't you got a right to the tree of life? To the tree of life. You can tell all of my brothers. And you got a right. You can tell all of my sisters. And you got a right. That we got a right. And you got a right to the tree of life. To the tree of life. We've come from the distance. And you got a right. We've come from the distance. And you got a right. And we've got a right. And you got a right to the tree of life. To the tree of life. You know, Rocky was the road. And you got a right. And dangerous the journey. And you got a right. But we got a right. And you got a right to the tree of life. To the tree of life. Our lives will be sweeter. And you got a right. Our lives will be sweeter. And you got a right. 'Cause we got a right. And you got a right to the tree
life, to the tree of life.
Bravo!
Thank you.
Those are our contributions tonight.
It's so good to hear those songs. Would each of you want to just say individually, just sort of like how you got involved with the chorus, or tell us anything about that?
Well, me personally, I've been in the chorus for, I think it's been 2 years already. Originally from the occupied territory of the Muiscas, Caribbean, and Arawak people, also called Colombia. So I met Lucy Murphy around 4 years ago during demonstrations and marches here in DC. And suddenly she was appearing in different of my circles, my art circles and my activist circles, and Lucy was everywhere, and somehow suddenly I was already singing with her in the chorus. Yeah. Amal?
My name is Amal Nur Al Huda. I am originally from Sudan. I am a singer. I'm a professional singer, soprano. So I came here. I met Lucy at the first year here in America, and she took my hand and she just introduced me first to the DC level chorus, which I'm singing with them. And, you know, Lucy, she wants to help you every way she can. So now I found this chorus of hers, and I'm happy to be one of them since this year, because I was out of the country before. I came back, I found her with those ladies, and, you know, it's a great idea, you know, leading songs and call and response. It's a great way of engaging the audience and delivering your message. And on top of that, you're going to serve your purpose through music, because it's going to energize everybody. It's a great way. Thank you.
So well put. Amal, Mally, Dana, thank you so much. And the Black Workers Center Chorus has performed at previous PMN Zoom events. Hopefully we can get you to perform at one of the upcoming in-person events, including in New York City on February 11th. And, you know, I wanted to say one thing, which is, y'all have referred to our comrade Lucy Murphy. I remember she once, she's served on the steering committee of PMN a number of times throughout the decades. She was part of the founding of the People's Music Network. She's a friend of mine, and I remember once she told me something about leadership, and it seemed appropriate to mention this thing that she told me once, which was that try to see if you're in a leadership role, if you can let everything happen without having to do anything. And so I'm like quoting her very imprecisely. But like,
and you see Lucy's not here tonight, right?
She's sick, right? She can't come to rehearsal, and like it's happening, and she didn't like have to do anything. It was just pretty awesome.
Well, you know what? It's true, because Lucy really encourages each one of us to take on a leadership role within the chorus. So, you know, there'll be an event and she'll assign it to one of us, you know, or ask if anybody wants to raise their hand to organize to get the singers there, because it's not that easy to do, right? So it gives you a whole new appreciation for how to organize people, you know, to a cause. So yeah, she's definitely, in a way, I think, kind of passing the torch to us. And she collects her singers at social justice activities. You know, we're always looking for new people who not only have the song in their heart, but also have the cause in their heart. So all of us who sing with the chorus are also like people that have been out in the streets fighting for different causes. So different ways.
You guys are doing important stuff. I want to bring on our next performer, Paul McKenna. Paul, welcome back to the Song Swap. Do you have any word you want to share with our comrades in DC?
Yeah, I really enjoyed those songs. They're great old songs, and it's good to hear them again. So you guys did a really nice job of performing those songs, and thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so the song that I want to sing is song I wrote recently. It's a tribute to Phil Oakes. His so happens his birthday is December 19th. So the tune to this song is a beautiful and very sad song that Phil wrote towards the end of his life called No More Songs. And I did run this by Sunny Oakes, his sister, and got her blessing. I asked her if she was okay with me singing this song, and she said she was. So here it goes. They found him hanging there, his belt around his neck. His demons in the end undid him. The darkness of his night had blotted out the light. Now it seems there will be no more songs. For 35 years he graced us with his voice, a voice that cried for peace and justice. But now that voice is stilled, there'll be no more words from Phil, and it seems there will be no more songs. He sang for civil rights, he sang to end the war. He sang about a dream of freedom and a vision for the earth where every soul has worth. But it seems there will be no more songs. If I could change the past, I would try to ease his pain. I would let him know how much we loved him. But turning back the clock is only idle talk, so it seems there will be no more songs. He said, when I am gone, singing louder than the guns will be something I can do no longer. So now it's up to us to let his legacy live on by continuing to sing his songs. By continuing to sing his songs. Oh, I marched to the Battle of New Orleans at the end of the early British War. The young land started growing, the young blood started flowing, but I ain't marching anymore. I'm only 18, I got a ruptured spleen, and I always carry a purse. I got eyes like a bat and my feet are flat and my asthma's getting worse. Think of my career and my sweetheart dear and my poor old invalid aunt. Besides, I ain't no fool and I'm going to school and I'm working in a defense plant. Welcome to California, where the friendly farmers will take care of you. Too many martyrs and too many dead. Too many lies, too many empty words were said. Too many times for too many angry men. Oh, let it never be again. Oh, let it never be again. Oh, let it never be again. Thank you.
Bravo. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for carrying on Phil Oakes' memory. Another sad story of personal, what would you say, Paul? It was, he had a terrible mental health crisis and left some incredible songs behind him.
Yeah, well, it was certainly tragic the way his life ended and that he couldn't get past what was overwhelming him because he made a great contribution while he was alive and wrote a lot of really brilliant songs and powerful songs.
Indeed. I'm going to bring up our next performer, Barbara Dyskant. Welcome, Barbara.
Hi there.
Hey.
Good to see you. I'll see if my microphone stays up this time.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thank you for sharing that about Phil. It's like sometimes it's hard to hear the painful stuff, and yet it's the painful stuff is part of what moves us forward. And I appreciate your sharing it, even though it was hard. It was hard to listen, and yet something that needed to be listened to, is the way I would put it. So I want to thank you for braving it and doing that.
Thank you.
And I like the juxtaposition of including his songs in addition to yours. That was nice. The song I'm going to sing is a true story about two mothers and two daughters. The second daughter is my daughter Nadine, and more or less about, you know, what if life hands you something horrible, that sometimes you could do something to make life easier for someone else. Anyway, it's called Make It Better. And by the way, my daughter has given me permission to sing it. Marissa was a happy girl, loving and loved too, with big brown eyes, off to college and her dreams, and then one day leukemia came. She fought with power and grace, strong as a willow tree, embraced by family, living life fully till 2 years later it took her away. She often felt alone. There were playgroups for children, circles for women, but she was neither one of these. And it's hard enough just to be a teen. She wrote long letters, made gifts for her friends, traveled with her family, took Claus to the end. And just 3 days before she died, while sitting by her mother's side, she said, "Mother, if you've learned anything from this, take what you've learned and do something to make it better. Oh, Mother, if you've learned anything from this, take what you've learned and do something to make it better." Lauren walked in tears of grief. She planted a garden, roses and lilacs, geraniums, lilies and daisies, and then one day a vision came. A place where teens could belong, teens living with cancer, to be together, to share the journey wherever it led and never be alone. It started small in her living room, earnest conversations, a plot in the pool, and time went on, and word had grown. TLC moved into a place of its own, with outings and gatherings and traveling about, a friendly place to just hang out, a voice in this community. Milgis's living, loving legacy. Oh, Mother, if you've learned anything from this, take what you've learned and do something to make it better. Nadine was a happy girl, loving and loved too, with fawn-colored hair, playing her flute like moonbeams, and then one day leukemia came. In the midst of the shock and the pain came an invitation to Melissa's garden, greeted with hugs and exuberance. She knew she was one of them. She almost didn't go, it might be too gloomy. Their laughter won her over, it really was perfect. They shared the joys, they shared the pain. They saw her off to college just the other day. Her picture stays on their wall, with survivors, some still fighting, and those who've passed on. for the gift of love and lifelong friends. Our gratitude to TLC will never end, and here I stand, though I don't know yet what it will be. I'm gonna take what I've learned and do something to make it better. Oh, standing in the light of Melissa and Lauren's love, I'm gonna take what I've learned and do something to make it better. Imagine the world if no matter what places we have been, we all take what we've learned and do something to make it better. What a wonderful world if no matter what places we have been, we all take what we've learned and do something to make it better. Oh, Mother, if you've learned anything from this, take what you've learned and do something to make it better.
Thank you.
Bravo. Thank you for that powerful song, Barbara. Cleo Knopf is our next performer. Cleo, what do you have to say to Barbara?
That was beautiful, Barbara. And I was thinking it's so seldom that we hear the voices of people who are dying of these diseases, which are really an epidemic at this point. And it was very inspiring. It was sad and inspiring at the same time, and beautifully rendered and sung. Thank you. I also lost my sister to cancer. I mean, it's a horrible disease, and people should realize the politics of it too. I mean, the fracking, everything that's making people sick these days. Anyway, thank you. And
you've written songs about fracking too, Barbara.
Oh, I certainly have.
Yeah.
I have the Big Black Snake song about what about the Big Black Snake with the fracking. I'm very aware of the connection. Nadine testified at an anti-fracking hearing after she survived cancer, and one of the things she said is, when they were talking about building a flat, like she said, I don't know, I'll never know what gave me my particular serving of sickness, but I do not want anyone else to have to go through that. I was so, she took that as well as a thing to carry forward, in addition to Lauren and her daughter Melissa, and Lauren is still working hard on this. So the legacy goes on, and yes, the environmental thing with cancer is a strong, strong thing that, moves me to keep working.
to make things better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. I wrote a song about Iran because I wanted to present a perspective that is not usually presented in our media. Oddly, we are approaching Christmas, and the Iranian flag is also red and green, just as many of our Christmas colors. Here we are. Here we go. Iran, you were Persia in 500 BC. The largest empire the world did ever see. Now U.S. warships at your border, along with sanctions so disorder. The West cries about your women's rights, but it was they who drove you to that plight. Oh, Iran, you had a chance to live in a democracy before the U.S. coup of 1953. The Western God, he made the world in 6 days, they say, but the CIA took 4 days to take your people's will away. Destruction so much faster than creation needs to master, and our sanctions Take the food out of women's and children's mouths, sir. Prime Minister of the people, Mohammed Mossadegh nationalized the oil companies, defied British petroleum industry. Who are you to think you own the resources of your own land? Said the West's colonial monopoly. Oh, Iran, you had a chance to live in a democracy before the U.S. coup of 1953. The Western God, he made the world in 6 days, they say, but the CIA took 4 days to take your people's will away. Destruction so much faster than creation needs to master, and our sanctions take food out of women's and children's mouths, sir. Your Persian rug weaves an intentional flaw in the line, honoring the divine and the striving of humankind. And so strove Mossadegh, so true, gave women the right to vote in 1952. But the West overthrew him and all their rights too. Oh, Iran, you had a chance to live in a democracy before the U.S. coup of 1953. The Western God, he made the world in 6 days, they say, but the CIA took 4 days to take your people's will away. Destruction so much faster than creation needs to master, and our sanctions take food out of women's and children's mouths, sir. But your poetic pages spiral wisdom through the ages. Your arabesques dance and spin. Great scientists, artists, thinkers, sages, from Rumi to Omar Khayyam, from this century to our century, to Tehran's Miriam Mirzakhani, first woman in the whole wide world to win mathematics Nobel Prize for all the world's inspired eyes. Iranian women so wise. U.S. sanctions off Iran and the cruel hand. U.S. warships out of Iran and the cruel monopolies hand. Thank you.
Wow. Yo, that was powerful. Thank you, Cleo. Oh, you packed a lot of history in there, a lot of history that has not been getting discussed sufficiently. So I thank you. I thank you greatly for that. Okay, so Jen Dog Lone Wolf is in the house. I'm gonna bring her up on stage here. Jen Dog, hey, I'm so glad you made it. I'm so glad you made it.
Hey, me too. Hey, everybody.
Hey, did you want to share a word with Cleo?
Yeah. So what Gary said in the chat, it's a necessary history lesson, and I learned some things, and you packed a lot in there, and I like the way that you use your voice also as an instrument. I'm not a singer. I don't know what it's called, but the way that you well, that didn't sound like you, but you know what I mean. And it all went well together.
Thank you.
Yeah, always a pleasure to hear you.
So, Jen Dog, what do we have from you tonight?
So, Roy Gamsey and I have a song that we did. It's he wrote it, and I Jen dogged it. So I'm going to play. It's called Wild Black, and it actually is Roy here? Because I was thinking maybe he could.
I didn't see him. He's not here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, it's about, Karens. I'm sure everybody knows what that is. Like,
Maybe not everybody.
okay, well, it's really about, this really insignificant things that people call the police on melanated folks for and about, so yeah, it's called Wild Black, and the different things that happen in that scenario. So hold on, I'm gonna share. Not sure. I don't know why I'm not able to share this right now.
You had it before, so it's
right there, okay.
share screen.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which step you're on though. Yeah, you got it.
There. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Mowing while black, parking while black, reading books while black. What in the world could be wrong with that? Reggie was 12, hardworking kid, did what it took. Mowed his auntie's lawn for about $20, but with no fence, no property line, he ain't know he messed up and mowed the white neighbor's lawn. For that she called the cops, For that she called the cops,
Hey, Jen Dog. Sorry. I did something wrong. Can you unmute yourself?
He was black and
there's something going on here. Can you unmute yourself? Because I thought we were getting it. I thought we were getting the sound through Zoom, but I think it started going, and it was that way at first, and then it changed to your mic. Hey.
Oh, I think because I didn't mute, maybe.
You didn't mute yourself?
Yeah. I mean, if I mute myself, you could still hear it?
That was I think maybe. Yeah, but so I want you to do this. I want you to stop the share.
Okay.
And I want you to press share screen. And then I want you to press advanced. You got advanced?
Yeah.
And then computer audio.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
And then press play.
All right. Rewind.
Here we go.
All right.
mowing while black, parking while black, reading books while black. What in the world could be wrong with that? Reggie was 12, hardworking kid, did what it took. Mowed his auntie's lawn for about $20, but with no fence, no property line, he ain't know he messed up and mowed the white neighbor's lawn. For that she called the cops, For that she called the cops, Dang, Karen. Now it shouldn't matter, but Lawrence was a grad school student. He was unlocking his car the same way anyone would do it. Being prudent, he just wanted to go on and get home, but he was black in a hoodie and in the wrong zone. Cops were called by a stranger, car theft he sees. They roughed him up cause he protested racist beliefs. Mowing while black, parking while black, reading books while black. What in the world could be wrong with that? Louis Andre took a drive to reach C.S. Lewis by the sea. In his hatchback in New Brunswick, it was mad Christianity. Looking suspicious, quote, quote. Mounties call to check him out. His patience wore thin. Color his skin, what this about? Not reading books in his car. At the ocean in a storm, even though he was director of parks and tours. Mowing while black, parking while black, reading books while black. What in the world could be wrong with that? Now an 8-year-old saw water on a hot day in San Fran. raising money for her little trip to Disneyland. When a neighbor confronted her, said she was much too loud. Said she needed a permit and that selling's not allowed. Well, the girl had no permit and she still didn't stop. So this silly neighbor went and said she called the cops. Called the cops. She went and called the cops. Permit Patty, selling water while black. Empathy always lacks. Random attacks, this is life while black. Going while black, parking while black, reading books while black. What in the world could be wrong with that? Rashawn and Dante waited in a fancy Starbucks shop. They were black and didn't order, so the barista called the cops. The person they awaited came, but 3 cops arrived. They got arrested and cuffed. Now to jail they had to ride. Arrest vid went viral. There was nationwide complaining. CEO said sorry and shut the U.S. stores for training. Living while black, living while black, living while black. It's been 50-some years, Martin's dream unfulfilled. And about 7 decades since they murdered Emmett Till. Whites still see blacks and assume ill will. Even though we ain't savage, we still get killed. So still, black parents have to give their sons and daughters that difficult talk about living while black, living while black, living while
Bravo! Yes.
Thank you.
I was appreciate about you the way you engage in collaboration with folks and on these songs. You know, you got producers, fellow lyricists. You're engaging with the whole tradition. You know, and I think telling us an important story with that song as well about daily life for Black folks in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
For sure. Thanks. And yeah.
Glad you can make it. Good to see you, Jen Dog.
Same here.
Well. All right. So I'm gonna I guess I'm the last performer, and I'm going to let's see. Hey, Jen Dog, can you press stop share on? Oh, here it is. Yeah, no, it's cool. There you go. Thank you so much. Okay. So I am going to actually also change my background picture for this song. In 1914 there was this huge thing happening in the world called World War I, and there was the war was raging in France, and people may know about the Christmas truce of 1914. And this was an event that happened on the Western Front between Germany and the Allied forces of France and England, and it was just France and England at that time on that side. And in the midst of Christmas, there was actually a cessation of hostilities. Now, this was a Christmas truce that came from the soldiers themselves, in a sense. This was completely seen as a major threat from the powers that be, who were commanding armies, both German and Allied. And actually the men who engaged in this particular Christmas truce, they were heavily disciplined afterwards, and they were not to stay on the front, because people who would do a Christmas truce like this are unreliable fighters. Now, I'm telling you some of this story because I think some of you may know the song by John McCutcheon, Christmas in the Trenches, which tells this story, and that's the one I'm about to sing. But I'm telling you a little more about this because there's something very interesting happening right now in the world politically, which is that in the midst of this devastating war in Ukraine, there is a call going out led by organizations such as the Fellowship of Reconciliation, such as Code Pink, and many faith leaders and many peace organizations calling for a Christmas truce in the Ukraine war. And I'll be playing in Boston this coming Monday at 5 p.m. At an event that is going to be an interfaith vigil calling for a Christmas truce to take place on that front in Ukraine, because we need an immediate end to this war, and we need to have a negotiated settlement to it. And we can look to our history, the history of war in the past, to understand something about what is going on today. And there's many parallels that could be drawn between World War I and today. For instance, it was the German Social Democratic Party in the lead up to World War I that voted for war credits, basically to support Germany's war effort with the rest of Europe. And this was like a left-wing party that supported this, the German Social Democrats, and to their everlasting disgrace, did that. And then all the members of the Second International, which was like the one bulwark against some kind of war breaking out in Europe at the time, all those alliances that were built among working class people among different European countries fell apart, because the leading Social Democratic Party in Germany had just done this disgraceful act of voting for war credits. And today we see many Social Democrats like Bernie Sanders voting for weapons to be sent to Ukraine, which are only prolonging this war. And there really isn't a particularly robust anti-war voice right now in the U.S. Congress, and that's something that we as the peace movement need to change. We need to call on our Congress people to stop this war. So I think this song brings us to another time. That's my political statement. I'm going to give you the song now by John McCutcheon, a beautiful song called Christmas in the Trenches. My name is Francis Tolliver. I come from Liverpool. 2 years ago, the war was waiting for me after school. To Belgium and to Flanders, to Germany, to here. I fought for king and country I loved dear. It was Christmas in the trenches, where the frost so bitter hung. The frozen fields of France were still, and as the frozen fields of France were still, no Christmas song was sung. Our families back in England were toasting us that day. They're brave and glorious lads so far away. I was lying with my messmate on the cold and rocky ground, when across the lines of battle came a most peculiar sound. Says I, now listen up, me boys, each soldier strained to hear, as one young German voice sang out so clear. He's singing bloody well, you know, my partner says to me. Soon one by one each German voice joined in harmony. The cannons rested silent, the gas clouds rolled no more, as Christmas brought us respite from the war. As soon as they were finished and a reverent pause was spent, God rest ye merry gentlemen, struck up some lads from Kent. The next they sang was Stille Nacht, 'tis silent night, says I, and in two tongues one song filled up that sky. There's someone coming towards us, the frontline sentry cried. All sights were fixed on one lone figure trudging from their side. His truce flag, like a Christmas star, shone on that plain so bright, as he bravely strode unarmed into the night. Soon one by one on either side walked into no man's land. With neither gun nor bayonet we met there hand to hand. We shared some secret brandy and we wished each other well. And in a flare-lit soccer game we gave 'em hell. We traded chocolates, cigarettes, and photographs from home. These sons and fathers far away from families of their own. Young Sanders played his squeeze box and they had a violin. This curious and unlikely band of men. Soon daylight stole upon us, and France was France once more. With sad farewells we each began to settle back to war. But the question haunted every heart that lived that wondrous night. Whose family have I fixed within my sights? It was Christmas in the trenches where the frost so bitter hung. The frozen fields of France were warmed as songs of peace were sung. For the walls they'd kept between us to exact the work of war had crumbled and were gone forevermore. My name is Francis Tolliver. I come in Liverpool, I dwell. Each Christmas comes since World War I. I've learned its lessons well. That the ones who call the shots won't be among the dead and lame. And on each side of the rifle, we're the same. Thank you,
Well
thank
done.
you very much.
Nice
Bravo,
job,
Ben.
Thank you.
Just a question. This is Norm. Didn't John McCutcheon write a pro-Ukrainian war song, defending the Ukrainians and calling for the Russians to rise up against their leader? I believe.
He may have.
I think it's called Ukrainian Now. We're all Ukrainians now.
I've actually listened to that song, yeah, and that's not the song of his I chose to play tonight. But I actually have heard that song. But I think that he is an incredible songwriter, and I think he wrote an incredible song with Christmas in the Trenches.
It's a fantastic song. I totally agree.
And I think we need to cut off the war funding to Ukraine right now, and we need a truce right now. That's what I'll be calling for on Monday by using that song. So thank you so much for offering that, Norman, and thank you everyone for coming tonight. I'm going to cut off the live stream, and for those who are on Zoom, we can sit here and hang out and talk a little more if anyone has anything they'd like to say. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Ben.